Good morning everybody and welcome back to another video. We are going to be going into a bunch of stuff today around Starfield with regards to some news, especially as we are now into the full worldwide release of the game. Everyone now has it, whether you are an early access person or someone who got it on the 6th. We are going to be talking about some news around how many people have started playing the game, going into some user reviews and some other fun stuff as well. Before we begin off this video, if you all could please drop a like and comment down below all your thoughts as we get into the topics, that would be much appreciated. Let me know how you've been liking or disliking Starfield, as long as it's reasonable and respectful. Please, I can't ask you enough to be respectful. You have no idea how many comments I've had to remove from people who are just obviously trying to troll and be negative for the sake of being negative. So, the first topic that I wanted to go into today has to do with the big news that Bethesda has come up with, stating that the game has officially broken Bethesda's biggest ever opening launch. 16 hours ago, as of me writing this, Bethesda released a statement saying that they had passed 6 million players, making it their biggest launch of all time. Now, I imagine this includes both PC and Xbox, of course, with the majority of it coming from Xbox, because this is an Xbox title after all. If we go over and look at the Steam charts right now, it shows that the all-time peak is 230,000 players roughly, with around 230,000 playing within the last hour of me recording this. I also expect that this number will continue to go up. Now, for context, if we look up this specific studio's last game, which was Fallout 4, it doesn't quite beat out what that game's all-time peak was, which was at 471,000 give or take. And I'm not sure if Starfield will beat that record, but whenever mods get included into the game, that might be the one chance and boost it does have to do so. So in terms of where it is stacking up right now, for all games on the Steam charts, it is ranked at number 7, just below games like Counter-Strike, Dota 2, PUBG, Apex Legends, Baldur's Gate 3, which is its biggest competition right now, and then a game called Naraka Blade Point that I've never heard of. Also, just a little side note, I'm gonna be honest, the day that I see a game pass out Counter-Strike for how many current players it has will be the day that I see God, because that game doesn't seem to be slowing down anytime soon and probably will never slow down. With the addition of Counter-Strike 2, I honestly don't know if I will see a game beat it, but hey, maybe that's just wishful thinking. I'm obviously kind of exaggerating a little bit. I'm sure one day there will be a game, but for right now, that record is going to be held to Counter-Strike. PUBG, of course, holds the biggest record for peak players of all time for any video game on Steam at more than 3 million. Unfortunately, Steam charts doesn't show the full list, so I can't exactly tell where Starfield lands on there, but if I had to take a guess, it might be within the top 20 or 25. So bringing this back to the main point of how many people have started playing the game, I'm still actually going to wait to see how many sales the game does make within its first 24 hours or more, and we get that official information because I do want to see where it does stack up with other Bethesda games. Fallout 4 shipped 12 million units in its first 24 hours, and Skyrim shipped 7 million copies in its first week. Again, I'll be curious to know where Starfield ranks with all those statistics as we get more information, but of course the game has only been out for a little bit worldwide, so they are probably getting all the information together as best as possible. One thing's for sure though is the fact that Starfield, I feel definitely, may have pigeonholed itself into a release date that could affect it in the long run. Right now, its biggest competition in terms of new games, without a doubt, Armored Core 6 and Baldur's Gate 3. Obviously, I already mentioned all the games that it's competing with against that are much older, but in terms of new games, those two are its biggest competitors at the moment, and we are not even done yet with that. If you are a sports fan, NBA 2K24 released worldwide today, the 8th, as I'm recording this. We have that new Dune Spice Wars game coming to PC on the 14th, Mortal Kombat 1, which I think is potentially going to be very massive, coming out on the 19th. Payday 3 is coming out on the 21st, and then the new very big DLC, Phantom Liberty for Cyberpunk, is coming out on the 26th. And by the way, for context, that's all that's coming in September. I haven't even listed what's coming in October. October is filled with games like Assassin's Creed Mirage, Alan Wake 2, and then what could potentially be one of the top 5 biggest games of the year in Marvel's Spider-Man 2 as well. Make no mistake, guys, Starfield is about to go through a hell of a lot of competition. So if you see the numbers go down, it's probably because there are just so many games to be played right now. I'm also not eliminating the fact that by some of these dates, I'm sure that some people would have already finished playing Starfield, or maybe they just couldn't get through it because they weren't a fan of the game. But make no mistake, this competition is massive. And I'm really looking forward to seeing how this year ends. I've said it already, but 2023 has been a really good year for video games, and in my opinion, might just be one of the best video game years we've ever had. But that was a big piece of news to discuss, and now I want to move over to another one, which is regarding user reviews on Metacritic that have now officially been allowed to release. As of me writing this, the Metacritic user score for Xbox particularly is a 6.1 with just over 3,500 ratings and reviews. The PC score is a little lower with just over 3,000 at 5.4 of a score. Now, I said this before and I'll say it again, but I don't care if the game is received well or if it was perceived bad. I don't trust these user review scores. Metacritic is a very flawed site with how it verifies if someone completed the game or not. The system that is in place right now only prevents people from giving reviews out until a couple of days after to give people some time to play it. But even with that in mind, people could easily just not play the game at all and still submit a review. And to be clear, this is not me saying that you should take either the critic scores or the user scores with any grain of salt. I'm just saying from the standpoint of user scores, I don't trust them. We've seen time and time again how easily it is that you can review bomb a game, and while I'm not seeing that that's happening here with a lot of the drama that this game has gotten, it would not surprise me if people deliberately try to give it negative reviews or even positive reviews. All I know is that from the chatter that I've seen online, a lot more people are liking it and then they are disliking it, and there's nothing wrong with saying that you dislike the game. I'm just saying from my perspective, more people are enjoying the game. I don't know how you guys all feel about this because, again, another thing I'll add to this is that these reviews also come in without the fact that the game is still yet to receive its full mod support. I would be curious to know how much these reviews would change if the game did have mod support on both PC and consoles, because the game doesn't have it yet. I guess maybe we'll eventually see in the future what happens where that does come down the line. The last thing that I'll touch on for this video is regarding some other marketing stuff for the game with two pieces of information and news. So the first one, which is not really the biggest of the bunch, is that the New York Liberty women's basketball team in the WNBA has teamed up with Bethesda to do their own Starfield marketing, where they basically are putting the game's name and colors all over their court for their basketball games. I think this is actually a smart move in the case of the New York Liberty and the WNBA, because the Liberty are probably the biggest name team and also have probably the best women's basketball player in the world right now with Sabrina Ionescu. I hope I'm pronouncing that name right, by the way. Of course, this is not the NBA, but still, I think this is a fun little piece of promotion to do. The last piece of marketing news and information to talk about will relate to something that I mentioned in one of my other videos regarding Adam Savage creating a real-life version of the Frontier ship from Starfield. I had talked about how he was doing a whole series of videos around this to make the ship, and as of one day ago of me recording this on September 7th, he finished the full completion of the ship build. I don't know if anybody else here has watched this series of videos, but I just think that this is so cool. Adam has a heavy level of knowledge into the world of these kinds of things, and I think Bethesda and Xbox collaborating with him to do this is just a really fun thing for a lot of nerds who like the physical sort of nature of products. It doesn't matter if you are somebody who collects toys or life-size models of things, this is something that I think is cool for everyone to look at. So I basically just wanted to give an update there that this is now fully completed, and I am actually kind of looking forward to seeing what else he builds in the future if he were to collaborate with anybody else. This was a very, very smart marketing move from Bethesda, and I hope we see other game companies do something similar with this kind of stuff. Other than that, though, I think that's where we are going to end off this video. There's not too much other news pieces that I wanted to discuss again. We are just getting underway with this game's release, and I wanted to talk about these multiple different pieces of information that we did get. Again, I'll be curious to see if we get some more information about some of the topics that I discussed already with regards to the sales and where the eventual peak of players on something like Steam will go to and its highest. But right now, I want to get to the most important part of this video, which is to hear all your comments down below. So let me know your thoughts about everything that we did discuss here today. If you enjoyed this video, be sure to give it a like and subscribe if you are new here to the channel and are playing Starfield right now. I hope everyone here has a great rest of the day and a good weekend, and I will see you soon for another video. This is Orion, signing out.